So hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we have a special opening for you guys. This is my first ever serious watch that I was wearing for 10.5 years. This is my Esprit model number 3036611. So this is the watch box, the guarantee, the two links that I removed, manual instruction and stuff like that. We're gonna remove it from the protection pillow or whatever you wanna call it to really see the watch. The watch box is actually quite nice and very durable. So this is the watch. So first of all, there's a lot of talk about this watch, so let's go with the dimensions. So case diameter is 42 millimeters, lug to lug 48 millimeters. It weighs over with all the links included 137 grams, with two links removed 130 grams, 22 millimeters bracelet, which doesn't taper down. Sadly, I only removed two links, but I should have removed one more link when I was wearing this watch. Didn't know back then, but we'll get to that later. So this watch basically was a gift from my second cousin when I finished high school. That was like 13 years ago. And literally I got this watch like 1 week after it was released worldwide. So this is an Italian brand. For those who don't know, this is not one of the most famous Italian brands. And instantly I didn't like this watch because it's too big for me. If you see the other videos on my YouTube channel, I usually don't go over 38 millimeters. So this is like 42 millimeters is way too big for my 17 centimeter wrist. And even back then I didn't like this watch because most of my friends were making fun of this watch, like it's like a clock. It's like you're wearing a clock on your wrist, return it to the wall and stuff like that. So, and I missed the 2 week warranty notice, stuff like that, to return this watch and spend more time to get another watch. That's what I remember. So this is my first ever serious watch that I was wearing. So as you can see, it's pretty scratched up, beat up all the way through everywhere on this watch. I mean, what do you expect? I was wearing this watch for like 7 to 10 hours per day. Basically, this watch was glued to my hand. So all the time I was wearing this watch. When I was in the, when I was studying at the university, in the laboratory, doing lab work, gardening, cleaning at home, yard cleaning, working at bars as bartender, heavy lifting stuff, moving stuff, stuff like that. So mountain climbing and all of that. In it, the only time I didn't wear this watch when I was swimming, showering, and doing sport activities. Like only those times I didn't wear this watch, and I didn't care at all about watches back in the day, like I'm caring now when I started this hobby and collecting watches and stuff like that. So and that time I was wearing the Xiaomi Mia 3 from time to time, a sports watch, but I gave that watch away to a friend of mine. So after like 2 years ago when I started with these Chinese brand journeys, I basically stopped wearing this watch because it had no point. It was pretty scratched up and beat up. So that's why I started buying new watches and somehow got addicted to this watch hobbies. So from the start when I was wearing this watch, it was way too loose. It was hanging on my wrist because back then I was a noob. I didn't know if I removed one more link, it will fit my wrist perfectly and wouldn't hang. And because it's kind of heavy watch and a big watch and very loose, I was hitting this watch all the time, bumping it everywhere into the side of the doors and the elevators and stuff like that. So it was very clumsy, and that's why the watch is beat up and scratched up after 10.5 years. So first of all, gonna go with the quality issues, how this watch stand the test of time. I'm gonna start with the crown. This is not a screw down crown, this is a screw in crown. No many, doesn't matter how many times I'm gonna try to screw down crown, it won't work. And some people say about the water resistance, this watch got like a 3 atm 3 bars of water resistance, and I know it's debatable in the watch community that people say the gaskets inside the watch protected from water entering, but honestly guys, if it's not a screw down crown, water will get easily in this watch. Like only 2 times water entered this watch, it basically flooded the whole dial. So that's why if you buy especially a diver or stuff like that, make sure it's a screw down crown. uh, Next thing I want to say, like after 3 years, the date window, the date function stopped working precisely. So I don't know what happened with this movement. I don't know even what movement is this basically. So it had no point of setting the date every day, because no matter how many times you change the date correctly, it still will be few days back. So another issue of what happened to this watch, this pin broke, so the watch like kind of fall off from the bracelet. And luckily enough it fall on the carpet, not on the concrete, not on the street, so it wasn't damaged too much. But other than that, changing the battery every 2.5 years. I think it uses the same batteries 920SW, the Renata batteries like I put, or Selita batteries that I put on my VH31 movements. So apart from the quality issues, now we're gonna go to the sections things I don't like about this watch. Starting with the hands, the hour and the second hands are kind of too small for this case diameter and the dial face of the watch. I wish there was, if they are not big enough, I wish they were in some different colors for better legibility. Also, this watch comes in a brown and black version, which I prefer more for better legibility, but they were released months after this watch. So another thing, key points I wanna say about this year is how, because many people don't like mineral crystals and don't like even K1 hardlex mineral crystals, which are 2 units above the mineral crystal rated 6 on the Mohs scale for robustness. And how well does the polishing stands on watches after so many years of wear and tear. So like I said, I was very clumsy with this watch. This watch I hit it very hard over like 20 times over the years. So as you can see, the bracelet is all scratched up all the way. Every link is pretty scratched up with even some big scratches on this watch. I'm gonna zoom in even more to really see the crystal. The bezel is all scratched up. Even here you can see a big like a dent on this watch when I hit the watch pretty hard. It's everywhere scratched up. The side is polished. This is how well the watches will get scratched up after so many years of wear and tear. Basically every day this was like a tool watch, a workhorse watch. Even though the case is somehow brushed and polished, I can see the lines from the brushing, but also it's part polished, part brushed, which is kind of very weird. I haven't seen this on another watch. The side profile is definitely all polished, and you can see all the scratches from everywhere. These are some big scratches on the bracelet. This cannot be polished again to look like brand new. These are very hard scratches, so no repairing with them, but these minor scratches could be polished again, so the watch will look somehow better and new. So talking about the crystal, the like after the first year and a half while I was adapting wearing this watch, there was no scratches on the crystal. But after 10.5 years, somehow the scratches appeared on the crystal. And like I remember the last few years of wearing this watch, I never hit the watch uh, very hard or didn't fall off my hand anywhere. Similar to, when you are carrying a phone, like no matter how expensive the phone is or how careful you are, it's a matter of time when the phone will fall from your hand. So same thing with this crystal, like I didn't hit the crystal with years, but the scratches started to appear, and my only explanation for the scratches on the crystal, as you can see, it's from old age. Basically the crystal had enough. it accumulated all those scratches over the years. There's one big scratch over here, I can see it, few little scratches on the top of the crystal. So after all age, the scratches started accumulating and they showed on the crystal. Also some very minor scratches on the crystal that you couldn't see, and that's why people buy sapphire crystal and not mineral crystal. So another thing I want to say about this watch, I'm gonna chart this watch a bit to see the lume. There is a little bit of, there is actually quite nice application of lume on this watch. So there you go, the lume is quite nice, to be honest. It's not the worst lume. The lume on the numbers 9 and 3 kind of faded away over the time. It's not as strong as on the hands, I'm guessing from aging. Even the lume has its own expiration date. So the watch served its purpose, now it's time to move on. I bought so many other watches, and the whole point of this video is to show how well the mineral crystal lasts after 10.5 years of wear and tear every day for almost 10 hours a day, and how well is the polishing on the case, test the time, and other scratches on the bracelet and stuff like that. So that was the whole point of this video, and this watch has an emotional attachment to me, and I'm never gonna sell it, and never gonna give it away to nobody. So thanks for watching. I wanted to make this video short, so you're gonna see in another video.